welcome back to the homestead. It is a super hot day, so I'm sitting in the shade behind our house. We've had a few comments in the past of people saying that they think we grow more flowers than food. And it's made me realize all the more that with just one video per week, it's very difficult to convey everything that goes on in our lives. And that means that there's a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle for all of you who watch our videos. And I realize that we do our best to be real and to convey as much as we can in the one video per week that we do currently. But I'm going to try and fill in some missing pieces for you today. So before we get to the flower issue, I wanted to say that we don't always get all of our family members in each video. We try, but some videos, like today's video, it's going to be really impossible to get everyone in the video. So if there's a child missing in a particular video, it doesn't mean that they're ill or that they're away. Usually everyone is just fine. I just am not able to get everyone in every video. So thank you to those who care and will ask about how a certain child is if they're not in the video. I appreciate you caring, but know that there's no worries. They just didn't make the video that week. All right, so on to the comments that we grow more flowers than food. It's really interesting to me because we grow so much more food than flowers. However, if you grow more flowers than food, that's totally great. I love flowers. Maybe part of the reason for this misconception is that almost all of our videos in the growing season begin with lots of flowers. I just love capturing flowers through video, photography. I even have recently taken up painting again. Right now I'm working on a flower painting. So I can understand how people can be confused and think that we just grow flowers. So that's why I put some food in our intro to this video. I'm going to give some real numbers to you all. And this is for those who maybe watch our channel because they're homesteading and they want to learn or be inspired or encouraged. But also for those who are just interested in this way of life and you just watch us because you think it's a different, unique way of life. So let's get real. I'm going to give you some numbers. And hopefully this video will help fill in some of those missing pieces that we just can't fit in because of one video per week. Maybe someday we'll be able to do more videos, but for now I only have time for one per week, so I'm just going to try to make the most of the one video per week that we put out. So real quick, I'm not going to be talking about animal food production in this video. I'm only going to be talking about produce. So our approach to produce has been to establish the perennials first, because things like fruit trees, berry bushes, and often perennial vegetables even will take years to get fully established. So from the very beginning we've been focusing on perennials. We have over 50 fruit and nut trees, well over 50 small fruit and berry bushes as well, and easily over 100 perennial fruits and vegetables, from asparagus and rhubarb to strawberries and ground cherries. So our current total square footage for all of our perennial fruits and vegetables is approximately 2,000 square feet. And the way I figure the square footage for things like fruit trees and berry bushes is about 25 square feet per fruit tree and about 4 square feet per berry bush, and that's because that's the amount of space that we actually will add amendments or compost to. So that's how I figure that. Our current total square footage for annual fruits and vegetables is around 700 square feet, and that's about to be more than doubled when we put on our main crop area, so that is coming soon. And our total square footage for flowers and herbs, because I often plant flowers and herbs together, is 500 square feet. So we've got a total of 2,700 square feet of fruit and vegetable growing space compared to 500 square feet of flowers and herbs. I would say most of that square footage for flowers and herbs goes to herbs. So yes, we do grow a lot of flowers, but we grow a whole lot more food than flowers. I would say probably a good average would be 10 to 20% of your total growing space given to flowers if you really think about diversity and the importance of flowers and herbs in the garden. They bring in so much life to the garden, which is necessary, especially if you live in a place like Missouri that's just bombarded with bugs. So we are seeing more and more of those good bugs coming to our gardens as we establish these perennial flowers and even add some annual flowers every year to the garden. So our big picture goal is to have about 2,000 square feet in perennial fruits and veggies, which we've pretty much established that, and then another 2,000 square feet for annual production. And for those of you out there who also do a no-dig method like we do, this means that we need about 12 cubic yards of compost every year to be able to add about an inch to that 4,000 square feet of growing space. We are nowhere close to producing that much compost, but we have a plan in the works to be able to have all of our own compost produced on our land here. And then other than that, we use comfrey for fertilizing. We add comfrey to our compost, and then we also make comfrey tea. If you have tried comfrey tea, you may have given up on it because it is so incredibly nasty to deal with. I personally have decided to just do a shorter soak of the comfrey in water so that you still get a lot of the nutrition, but it's not so foul smelling, and it's a lot easier to deal with, a lot easier to handle, and so I just do that more often. If all goes well, I like to do that at least once a week on things like squash and cucumber, tomatoes, and all my potted plants. All right, so there's the big numbers. So what does all that look like for us, practically speaking? Well, I am a big believer in eating as much fresh food as possible. I don't like preserving food. However, we do preserve some things. We like to preserve our extra purple pole beans and provider bush beans by freezing and by fermenting. We often have extra greens, so I'll cook those and freeze those in freezer bags as well. And then fruits. I do like to can jellies and jams. And one last item for preservation would be tomatoes. Down the road, once we have our main crop area and we can grow more tomatoes, I would like to can tomatoes as well. But other than that, we try to eat fresh off the land. We try to grow things that we can store on the pantry shelf or in our root cellar. And I just don't do a whole lot of canning. So this year for fruit, we were able to get about 50% of our fruit off the land starting in May, and by next year I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get 100% of our fruit from May through October, just eating fresh fruit off the land. And then the plan is in November and December to be able to eat our apples and pears from the root cellar, and then December through April will be the canned jellies and jams. At least that's the hope. So I'm not at a place of having enough canned jellies and jams to last us for 4 months yet, but every year we do a little bit more. Right now our freezer is actually almost halfway full of all of our grapes and strawberries and blackberries, raspberries, and things like that. I'm hoping to be able to can quite a bit of jelly and jam this year. And then for vegetables, we don't have to buy hardly anything through the growing season as far as vegetables go, other than some lettuce in the really hot months, because our lettuce just doesn't grow very well here in the hot months. I hope to get some sort of a shade bed set up here behind the house for next year so that maybe we can grow lettuce all summer long. And then we do get some broccoli and cauliflower through the summer as well from the store. But our big picture goal is to eventually have 2 greenhouses and be able to grow all of our vegetables that we need year-round, eating mostly fresh, and then also some stored items like onions and garlic, winter squash, sweet potatoes, and regular potatoes, which all store very well, and our new pantry that stays really cool through the winter, or in our root cellar. Alright, so before I end this video, I just wanted to share some of our most abundant, easy, productive crops. If you live in Missouri, or if you're in one of the surrounding states that has a very similar climate. So number 1, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes have grown so well for us. They're super easy, and there's the bonus of the edible greens that you can cook up like spinach, or feed to your animals. The geese love them, the cows love them. We grow our sweet potatoes in raised beds, and then we clip the vines at about 3 feet out from the plant so that the plants put more effort into those first roots rather than developing more roots further out. That just makes a lot of smaller potatoes. Okay, number 2, pole beans. Pole beans grow so well here. I like growing them up over a double arch trellis because it makes it super easy to harvest them. And my goodness, we're getting so many right now. Every day we're having to go out and harvest bowls full. So Esther Pie has been helping me with those. We've been freezing them, and then we'll probably also ferment some of those. That's one of our favorite fermented vegetables. Number 3 I'd say is kale. We absolutely love, love, love kale, and it goes further into the summer than the lettuce does. If you keep it covered from the bugs, it can go all summer long, and we use it even like lettuce in the summertime. So kale is a wonderful one that could be grown year-round here if you have the right environment. Cherokee Trail of Tears black beans. They do amazing here. They just keep producing all summer long, and we do multiple harvests of them. So if you want to do some kind of a dry bean, Cherokee Trail of Tears has worked great for us. I know a lot of people do cowpeas in similar climates, and I have tried those in the past too, but the black beans are just a little bit bigger, so it's just a little bit more food for your effort. Watermelon is another one that grows great here. Tomatoes do really well. Garlic, we've had just all the garlic we could need. It's super easy, and that grows really well here. I've had a little bit more trouble with onions, but I'm still working on those. As far as fruit goes, blackberries are phenomenal, raspberry and gooseberry, and we're finally getting success with apples and pears. Pears seem to not be bothered by the bugs, which is fantastic. And 2 favorite herbs that grow phenomenally here in Missouri are anise hyssop, also called blue fortune agastache, hummingbird mint. There's lots of names for it. I call it anise hyssop, and it's my favorite herb for tea, and it's also medicinal. And then also creeping thyme does excellent here. It just spreads and grows so well all through the growing season, and that one's used great for in the kitchen as well as medicinal uses. And okay, I should probably mention mint as well. Pretty much any kind of mint grows fantastic here. However, it'll take over the garden, so put it somewhere where it can be confined a little bit. And comfrey, how can I forget comfrey? That's been vital for our homestead. We planted 1 comfrey plant the first year on our land, and we have divided it out and let it multiply. So now we've got probably over 50 comfrey plants. We use them for so much. Comfrey is great for adding to the compost to activate it, for doing tea like I mentioned. We feed it to the cows, to the geese. Last one I'll throw in there, this is a medicinal, that's elderberry. Elderberry just grows wild. We've also planted some, and we get all the elderberry we could possibly need. It just grows great here, and it's super wonderful for making syrup for the fall and winter to help keep colds and flus away. So if you garden here in Missouri or in a similar climate, can you share what some of your most abundant crops have been? I'm always wanting to learn what other people are doing and what does really well for them. And I hope this video has helped fill in some missing pieces for you. I will probably continue to video flowers at the beginning of our videos whenever they're growing, because how can I resist capturing things like this? Alright y'all, thank you for joining me again on the homestead. Thank you to our patrons who make these videos possible. We pray blessings over you and yours. And whatever you do it with your whole heart. Look at what they've all been making. Wow. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Nice work.
I hope it'll hurt.
Thank you. Esther Pie's been doing a little drawing lesson while I've been filming. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Is that fun, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah.